News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Thursday on Wall Street, where traders' risk appetite increased thanks to robust tech earnings. We're bringing the closing numbers. We do it every day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 35 points. NASDAQ gained 264 points. The Dow gained 83 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.21% and the 2-year yield at 3.69%. And Amazon earnings now just released. Net sales increased 9% in the first quarter, but its second quarter operating income missed estimates. Shares of Amazon are down nearly 5% in the post-market. President Trump says he will nominate his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, to be U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Now, Waltz has come under fire for starting a Signal chat group to discuss military strikes in Yemen, but added an editor from The Atlantic to that chat. Trump also says Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as interim national security advisor. Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall tells us that Rubio is a busy man. He is now Secretary of State, interim national security advisor, acting administrator of USAID, and acting archivist for the United States.
Of course, we have Israel and Hamas, Ukraine and Russia, restarting talks with Iran when it comes to their nuclear capabilities. So pair that also with the fact that the State Department is trying to actually pare back on its departments, both in the United States, but also its offices around the world.
Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall. Waltz posted on social media, quote, "I am deeply honored to continue my service to President Trump and our great nation." Kohls has fired its CEO. The board fired Ashley Buchanan after discovering he directed millions of dollars of business to someone he has a romantic relationship with. That violates the company's code of ethics. Bloomberg's Shelley Banjo says the company is making this decision during a tough time.
The company replaced its CEO because they weren't doing very well. And then as soon as the Ashley Buchanan took over, they decided to cut 10% of their corporate staff. Sales are already low. You're trying to do a turnaround right as the economy is starting to crater. Consumer demand is going down. The macroeconomic environment is clearly terrible. So it is not good news for this company. But the stock, of course, went up because I think it shows the board, seeing something, saying something, doing something about it.
Bloomberg's Shelley Banjo. Buchanan's business dealings were with Chandra Holt. The two worked as Walmart executives in the late 2010s, and sources say their relationship was an open secret at Walmart. Holt is now the founder of vitamin seller Incredibrew. Kohls shares are now 10% higher. The U.S. is reportedly weighing a potential easing of restrictions on NVIDIA sales to the UAE. Sources tell Bloomberg President Trump could announce the start of work on a bilateral chip deal during his upcoming trip to the Gulf, but nothing's been decided yet. Today's manufacturing data, not as bad as economists predicted. We get those numbers from Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
First read for ISM is 48.7, which is contraction. It's down from 49 last month. But the numbers that matter, new orders, 47.2. That's up from 45.2. There was a feeling that we might see new orders crash even more, given the tariff situation.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee, that overall drop is the biggest since November, but still not as bad as what economists expected. The White House says tariff relief for small businesses will come in the form of a tax cut. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller.
There's now a massive economic incentive for automobile producers to expand production in the United States, and whatever they make here, there will be no tariff.
Miller told reporters companies that invest in the U.S. will be able to deduct 100% of the cost from their tax liability. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers says the bond market pricing does not amount to a judgment call on what the Fed ought to do with interest rates, and that it would be a serious error for policymakers to ease next week.
I think it would have been a grave mistake to have eased already, and would be a very serious error to ease at this upcoming meeting. I think the results would be a lack of confidence in the Fed's determination on inflation, and that would mean higher interest rates at the long end.
Bloomberg contributor Larry Summers speaking with Wall Street Week host David Weston. Robinhood shares are down 3.6% as total net revenue topped estimates. CEO Vlad Tenev.
April's continued to be incredibly strong across the board. I talked about futures already, but equities and options are at or near multi-year highs, and net deposits has continued to be remarkably strong.
Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev on Bloomberg Open Interest. Key House Republicans are looking at ways to direct an expanded state and local tax deduction, SALT, to those making less than $400,000 a year. The $10,000 cap on SALT is still unresolved. The Ways and Means Committee may reconvene on the issue next week to discuss options. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.